I'm here with the three best, very small, compact zoom cameras that have quite a bit of zoom here. So let's dig in. I have two from Kodak, which are quite similar, just a little bit different. The FZ45, which has 4x zoom, and then the FZ55 with 5x zoom. And then this very amazing find here, the Canon IXY, the US I think, which is the same model. And this one gives you 12x zoom, which is quite a lot in such a small package here. So let's look at some pictures that we took at the zoo. Okay, so let's look at some different images here on the laptop of these, because I think weight-wise it doesn't make that much of a difference. This is really light for the 12x zoom that it has, but it's quite the same weight range. You can just easily put this in your pocket or in your purse, just a little bit heavier. But let's take a look at the differences here. So let's first look at a black monkey right here. This is a monkey zoomed with 4x on the FZ45. The monkey is there in the middle. It's just still a little bit far away. We weren't that far away from the enclosure, but just a little bit far away. But I really like the detail and the green background there. And then let's see that same monkey when we zoom in 18x on the FZ45. It's a little bit blurry. You can already see the degrading here on the tree. You can see that very well right there. So here's the same black monkey with the Canon IXY in the US. You can really see the quality here. It's a 12x zoom, so there's no digital zoom here. This is all 12x optical zoom, which is really cool for a small camera like that. And look at the detail of that rubbery there on the side. Then when I zoom in, let's see, 20x on that camera, just 2 steps back I think from when I shot that with the FZ45. Look at the tree there on the left. You can really see the degrading here in the image quality of the FZ45, and then even at 20x that's also a little bit of digital zoom. The tree here is completely nice and visible, so that's a really big difference here that you can see between those two images. When we look at the FZ55 at 18x zoom, you can see the same type of degrading, not that much. Of course, the monkey was a little bit further away here underneath that wooden structure, so a little bit dark and moving very fast. But here at the trees, I really like that green of the color. So it's just a little bit better quality that you get with the FZ55 at 18x zoom, even though it's really not made for that. I think the sweet spot of the FZ55 is between that 5x zoom and about 12x. Then for the FZ45 it's between 4 and about 8x that you can get some quality pictures still. And then for the Canon IXY is of course 12x optical zoom, and then about up to 20x for that extra digital zoom to get some quality images. Then let's look at the same cameras for a brown monkey here. So here is a brown monkey with the Canon IXY shot at 12x. It's a really quality image here. I could have held the camera still just a little bit better, but look at the detail of that monkey right there. So that's really cool. I think that's a very cool image. And then when we look at the brown monkey at 12x with the FZ45, I was standing a little bit further back, but you can already see a little bit grading here of the image at 12x, and it's also a little bit more difficult to capture an image like that with this camera than it is with the Canon IXY. Then with the FZ55 zoomed at 5x, I think that's a perfect range for this camera. You can see the quality of the image there, and then compared to the FZ45 at 4x, it's just a little bit further away, so that 1x really does make a difference. But I like the quality image here and the colors of both quite well. And then when we zoom in with the Canon IXY on that monkey even further at 25x here, you can also see it's a little bit difficult to get a quality image for this monkey, although I still like the colors here. And then we zoom in with the FZ55 at 20x, you can already see a lot of degrading here in the image, and at 25x with the Canon IXY, it just showed that same level of degrading here. So it's quite cool to see those side by side, the FZ55 at 20x zoom and then the Canon IXY at 25x zoom. When you compare that to like your phone, this is a nothing phone zoomed with 12x, which is the maximum for that phone, and it's completely unusable, this image. You can see the asterisks here and there's the pixelation, and it's just completely degraded, and you can really use that. This is the nothing phone at 5x all the way back at the enclosure, and then let's see that side by side with the FZ55 zoomed at 5x. So you can already see there's really no quality degradation here from the FZ55, while there definitely is some degradation here from the nothing phone from 5x zoom. So it's not only the zoom up to the zoom level, but also the amount of degradation you get in image quality from going from 5x to 10x, for example, or 4x to 8x. That also goes a lot faster. So I think it's exponential in how much image quality you lose with like a camera that already has a zoom in it. And then let's look at elephants here. So I have an elephant zoomed at 12x with the Canon IXY, which is quite cool. This is a very cool image. It's just a little bit dark, I think, because of the way the light fell into the lens on this image. But then when I zoom a lot with the FZ45, this is at 8x with an elephant that's quite in not exactly the same position, but you can see a little bit of an image degradation here. So that already is a little bit of a different image. So although it is a little bit dark, you can really see that the level of detail here is a lot higher than here with the FZ45 at 8x. And then when you zoom in a little bit further, this is an elephant with the IXY at 20x zoom. You can still see that level of detail, still a little bit dark, but there's not much of an image loss right there. And then when we zoom in with the FZ55 at 20x, you can really see that there's a difference in picture quality here. Of course, the elephant is a little bit farther away, but right up to the stone, you can see that is a little bit degraded already. And then the elephant, of course, is not very focused as well. In the FZ45 here, zoomed at 30x, you even get a little bit more of a degradation here in the image quality. So it's cool to see those differences in quality between the cameras and between those zoom levels, I think. So let's take another look and here at some penguins. So here's the FZ45 zoomed at 4x. It's a really cool image here. And then the FZ55 at 5x. Now you can already see that 1x just makes a lot of difference here. You can see the penguins just up a little closer because this is the same spot where we took the image from, just up a little closer. And I really like the green here of the grass. That's also very cool. The light was just a little bit brighter. The cloud moved away just at that time that I took the picture. So I think it's a little bit overexposed, but you can still see the image quality here and also the green of that grass. I think the image quality is quite similar between the 45 and the 55, but you get that extra zoom level with the 55, and it also translates in being able to zoom quite far away with digital zoom because the image degradation is just exponential with lesser zoom level, especially when taken with your phone. So this is the sweet spot of these cameras, the 4x and the 5x. And then let's see when we 12x a zoom with the FZ55, you can still see some cool details here. I think this is up to where this camera is able to make some cool pictures. And then when I do that with the FZ45 at 12x, it's still a nice image, but just a little bit harder to capture that. You can see it really focuses on the middle penguin here, but also that is still a little bit blurry. But then when we look at the Canon IXY here, this is zoomed at 18x, it's also just a little bit dark, so perhaps I can do something with the light settings in there when I'm taking pictures outside like this. But you can see how much detail it has, and there's almost no image degradation here with the 18x zoom compared to like the FZ55 with the 12x zoom. So I really like an image like this. You can zoom in even further. This is a 40x zoom with the Canon IXY, and you can see the level of detail here on the penguins, which are just washing themselves, I think. So while I know that the price difference between these two Kodak zoom cameras here and this Canon one is quite large, this one just gives you so much more options with the 12x zoom than these ever would. And it also gives you a lot more flexibility and a lot more distance from your phone camera. So with this, you can really zoom in and go quite a distance, and then also use a little bit of a digital zoom if you'd like, and still get quite a good image quality here, while these have a very narrow window of where you'd like the animal to be, or some other object that you'd like to photograph with the zoom to really make a difference with your phone. Just a small narrow window where these really shine, while this one just gives you a lot of flexibility. Very light, so you don't need to take any large cameras with you and still get that 12x optical zoom, which I really like. So if you have the budget, I really recommend this one.